Hello, my dear friends of the Co-Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist, and we gather in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Lord be with you. It's been a while since we've made a connection with a video. We did so much during the COVID time when we were kind of shut down. And I'm out here in the garden in a very particular way because we have created this new beautiful, I don't like to say fence, because these are gorgeous pillars that are made from the stone of our church, Mankato stone, which was built in 1956. And you can see behind me the beautiful flowers and the angel. So this is a welcoming place. And so often there are wheelchairs here, and there are employees who come for lunch. So it's a place of welcome in which we can be live up to our signage, which is a welcoming Catholic community. I first of all want to thank all of you who participated. I wrote a letter asking you to help us with this, and many of you were very generous. We still have some ways to go, so if you want to offer a gift of money to help us with the garden, I'll be happy to receive it. Also, in having that awareness, I also want to speak about, Wanda Murphy and Joe. Wanda's mother died, Erna, and we announced that on the weekend and prayed with them and for them. And also the Libras, George and Dee. I mentioned, and others of you have brought that up to me as well, their son Joe died a couple of years ago. I think it was 47, cancer, and now their son Jim died. And the funeral is this upcoming Friday in Minneapolis, also of cancer. So we hold up the Libras along with Wanda and all those who experience pain and the loss of a loved one. It's very tender, and we have hope because we know they live and they are embraced in a dwelling place that lasts forever. So in the midst of a normal life here at the cathedral, we received an email from a young man, Michael, from Germany, near Frankfurt. And in a moment, I'm going to interview him because it's a fascinating experience for me as we welcomed him, and then how it unfolds with many different steps. And this story also helps us to live up to our signage as a welcoming Catholic community. I'll be back soon. So folks, I'm back with you, and I promised that we have a guest, Michael Allers from Germany. And one of the interesting things, when he sent an email here to the office, Margaret picked it up, and then she sent it to me. But I'm very appreciative of his insight and his kind of wisdom about what happened with Margaret and the email. So Michael, welcome. What about
Thanks.
Margaret?
I was telling you earlier that I was really amazed with the reply that I got from the parish, because usually in Germany, I would say, if you send out an email to any institution, you get very short answers generally, not longer than one sentence, and very unkind ones. It's generally just a secretary who doesn't want to get more work additionally to the lot of work that they already do. So I was expecting some sort of short answer, and what I got instead was a very kind, warm letter, nearly, from Margaret, telling me, hey, it's nice that you reach out, and we will look into some possibility to help you to get into Rochester.
Housing, because he was looking, maybe, do we have a hostel? Do we have some kind of way in which he could find for a month? Because he came to Mayo. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Exactly.
So we got Margaret sent it to me, and we have some Italians, doctors here who are doing research, and we got him connected, and he's staying with them because they were very welcoming to you,
exactly.
Which is another sign.
Yeah. No, just amazing. Because I got a very spontaneous answer of the Mayo Clinic telling me, okay, you can start next week. So I said, okay, I'm going to look for apartments, but everything is so expensive. So that's why I reached out to the parish.
Yeah.
And now I'm living with two friends, with one friend, very good friend, an Italian friend, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. So part of why I mentioned Michael on the weekend, because we're talking about faith as an adventure, faith as when we think of research and this longing of research people who have an expectation to be surprised and also to discover and to be creative and artistic, if you will. And I said it's much like Sebastian does composition. So Michael is here doing this particular research about a genetic disorder. And I don't want to get lost in all the technicality, but I appreciate your very pro-life and kind of passion that you have. So tell us about it.
Yes, so Germany right now is very strong on the pro-abortion movement. We are passing laws. I think we just passed a very important law 2 weeks ago, which allows doctors to advertise openly abortion. So you can go into the public, say, okay, we do abortions for this and this amount of money. And that struck me, and I thought, okay, I need to see how the situation is in other countries, especially the US, because that's the place where the most of the research is done. And there's one specific disease called Niemann-Pick type C, which is always lethal in an early childhood onset, which means that those children have a very low expectancy of life. And I was wondering, okay, in which way are those children treated here? Because in Germany, because of the disease, of course, they would still be treated as patients. But I would say that because of the treatment of the unborn children, this might, in a potential future, very far away from now maybe, hopefully, also be transferred on the care of the patient, because human life is human life. So I was curious about that. So I came here to the Mayo Clinic and got connected to a professor who is really great. He's just a great mentor, doing research on that specific disease since God knows how many years, and just doing incredible work and treating the patients with the most loving way possible.
What I so appreciate about what Michael is doing with this research question is he's also really a believer. So as I was saying on Sunday, we easily get numb about our faith. We don't do the work. He's doing the work with research, but he does the work with Catholicism and his relationship with Christ. And that was part of the connection I was trying to make this last weekend. And that for the future, all of us, how do we generate our faith so that it's alive? Now, he's doing this research, and obviously it's based on questions and on facts. And our faith is based on questions and on facts, asking questions. So you're a believer. What's that all about?
I would like to add on that adventure part, because I think that's the reason I'm a believer. I think to believe is one of the most adventurous things that you can do, because it's not easy. It's not something you sit back home and believe in a fairy tale. It's actually going with those questions and thinking about them all the time, keeping them close to your heart, and struggling in a way. And you do that over God knows how many years, maybe the whole life. But however, it's just an incredible movement of the soul that allows faith. And so I'm very happy to be a Catholic, to be honest.
Wonderful. Michael's 21 years old. So when I was 21 years old, I wasn't this clear about the adventure of faith. I'm so appreciative, because we need to bear witness. That's what changes the world. And that's true about medicine and research and about a genetic disorder.
Yeah.
And about what it means to say, I love Christ and I want to follow Christ.
Exactly.
Michael, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and really every blessing for your future full of hope.
No,
Yeah.
I need to thank you,
Yeah.
Father Mayor.
Yeah, and his parents met. His dad's from Cali, Colombia, and his mom from Poland, and they met together in a hospital in Germany.
In Germany.
Isn't that the way life, falling in love, happens? And also to conclude, because we have done many announcements and forms of communication about the recent installation of Bishop Barron. I'm just so grateful, as I've written, for the tremendous work of our staff, Margaret, Sebastian, but all of them together in welcoming Bishop Barron. And I met someone this morning who was present, our county attorney, and he said that was so cool, it was magnificent, the way in which the liturgy and the ritual and all of it unfolded. So I thank you for your support about that, and please remember, it's all online, and you can plug into Vespers or into the Mass of Installation. We are going to wait for some paper that's going to appear, Michael, from some international place someday, right? You're just
Someday, I
a
will.
young medical student,
Exactly. I'm still very young.
but it holds lots of promise.
I hope so.
The Lord be with you. Gracious and loving God, bless all of our friends, Michael, the community, and the male medical community that is such a treasure in our neighborhood. And we beg this blessing in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Come and look at the garden. It's beautiful, and we need your presence.
And thank you, Margaret, for the very nice email. I will keep that in my heart. So thank you very much.
Mark, that's typical of Margaret. She's very warm, she's very efficient, and she pays attention. So this is why I wanted to do this. It's a lovely way to thank Margaret.
All right.
God's peace.